Hello and welcome, guys. This is going to be the first episode of the AMS Transfers podcast. Hopefully we can come up with a actual name that we were going to be using for this podcast going forward. But for now, we're just going to stick with AMS Transfers podcast. This is going to be the first episode of the series, so we're going to try and release these every single week. And today we're just going to kind of do an introduction, a little bit of a Q&A, and then the main topic for this video is going to be what equipment we use, how we got it, and how we use it in the day-to-day of our business. So without further ado, I think let's get right into it.
Should we introduce ourselves?
Oh yeah, I guess we should probably do that. My name is Alex, if you guys haven't seen me before on the channel.
My name is Mick. You've seen me a little bit on your channel, I guess.
And we are both the partners of AMS Manufacturing and Printing. We are a custom screen print and DTF transfer supplier located in Houston, Texas. And I guess with that, we'll roll the intro.
Yeah. All right, so each week we're just going to kind of start off the podcast talking a little bit about what we did that week, what we accomplished, what we didn't get accomplished. This week was a good one to start on because it is the first week back of the new year, so we were able to set some goals. Do you have anything?
Yeah, so if you guys missed, I published a video on Monday, the 8 goals that we have for our business in 2024. It's going to be a video that you're not going to want to miss if you guys have been watching for a while and you guys are kind of committed to AMS Transfers, AMS Manufacturing. I got some big goals set for 2024. I think probably number one on top of that list is going to be getting a new headquarters. Going to be doing that in April of this year.
That's coming up quick.
Coming up real quick. We have a couple potential prospects that we've been looking at. One of them is super nice. I really like it, out in Cyprus. But
yeah, so this week we really kind of had not one of our busier weeks. I think it was with a lot of people getting back to work, their normal schedules. We had a lot of our regular customers place their orders, getting back into the swing of things. We did have a 255, I think it was, screen print order to get printed, so that took up the majority of one day. We also, for this customer, we have to print them out, so the way she does it is she places 2 designs onto one sheet, so that ends up having to cut it right down the middle.
So she print and cut themselves. We print the transfers, and then we also have to cut them out for the customer, so it's an extra additional step that so you guys can request if you're interested in. But yeah, this customer typically always does it, and I guess this time we were lucky since it was only 2 designs. Usually it's like 4 or 5. Yeah. So that it always takes up a good amount whenever it's over like 250 sheets, and it just takes up a lot of the day. So we were able to prepare for that on Monday, get it printed on Tuesday, and then we had it cut and shipped by Wednesday.
Yep. We just had a couple other screen prints. We did print some of our sample boxes.
Yeah.
So if that's something
if you guys did order a sample box or requested one in the past month, I do apologize. We're going to get those out. It's just been chaotic the past, like the end of the year, it always is, but it's no excuse. We're going to get those back on track.
Yeah, and then in regards to the DTF printer, we went through about 975 feet of DTF film, so that's about what, 3 rolls?
3 rolls.
So it wasn't our busiest week, but that DTF did keep us busy.
Yeah, it was all in all. I mean, I mentioned it in one of my videos that I posted this week, that it was just a little bit slow and making me a little nervous if we're going to be able to accomplish our year-end goals and whatnot, but this month always has been traditionally slow, and a couple of you guys even said that you guys were also super slow. So I guess it's good to be in company, but still not a fun thing to deal with.
Well, I think everyone's just getting back into the swing of work this week, so because a lot of our customers actually placed orders yesterday and today. So, and then one of the biggest things that we started working on, which are you talking about that yet?
Yeah, so if you guys did watch the 8 goals video, you know that I did give you guys a little bit of a teaser with AMS Transfers Plus. So we've been working on this for like the past 6 months, just kind of really putting our heads to it and thinking how we can make this a reality. So we've really been hitting the pavement this week and just trying to really be able to get our MVP, minimum viable product, ready to go. because that's another one of our huge goals that we have for 2024. We're just going to be trying to get AMS Transfers Plus launched and then get 10 clients signed up for AMS Transfers Plus by the end of the year. So we're really trying to get going on that, hit the ground running, but it's taking its time.
Did you have some goals for this week, like not yearly, that you wanted to?
So yeah, my weekly goals, they're kind of a mixed bag. So I got, I would say 60% of the things that I wanted to get accomplished this week done. So that definitely leaves a little bit of work for this weekend. But I wanted to get an email marketing back into for AMS Transfers. So I sent an email out to our email subscribers. If you guys are interested, subscribe to our newsletter. It's down below at the bottom of the website, amstransfers.com. I also wanted to get signed up for the Fort Worth Impressions Expo. That didn't happen, unfortunately. It's something I'm going to have to look into this weekend. I wanted to post 10 TikToks. I don't think we got anywhere close to that. Probably posted 4 or 5. I think probably 4. And then I wanted to have the rough draft done for the blog post. That we're actually pretty close on. I have, I think, 4 out of 10 chapters complete. So some work to do on that this weekend, but we're doing it. It was like Michaela said, the first week back, and we're just trying to get into the groove ourselves, you know.
Yeah, so some of the goals I had are kind of similar to what Alex said. 10, if you guys didn't know, we have kind of an extension of AMS Transfers that I run. It's called WW Transfers. It's just pre-made transfers, designs that customers can go on there and buy, and then we send them that transfer. So with that, I also had a goal to post 10 TikToks this week. I think I got up to, I want to say 6 or 7.
That's better than 4.
Yeah, I think it was just Monday and Tuesday. I had only posted 1. And then also I had a goal to vlog for my channel this week. I didn't do
If
that.
you guys are interested, youtube.com/@WWTransfers.
Yeah, I didn't get around to that. Unfortunately, that was something that I really wanted to do, but... And then really just for the WW Transfer site, I wanted to take out a lot of our Christmas designs, just so that we can keep a good inventory of like basic designs, and then Christmas, get holiday. We like to rotate our holidays out. I started taking down the Christmas ones, and I kind of added back some Valentine's Day ones, just to,
It's coming up.
I know, just to get everything ready for that. But I didn't get to finish that, so that's something that I'll have to work on this weekend. And then, yeah.
Busy weekend.
Yeah, we do. And then the last one I had was to go live on TikTok. So with WW Transfers, we kind of have a bigger following on TikTok. So I like to try to go live. Again, I didn't get around to doing that as much as I wanted, but I don't think I went at all. I started to today, and then we just got busy printing an order that I didn't get around to. So again, just hopefully next week we get back right into the groove of things. This week was kind of just a trial run for January, but
it happens.
All right, so I figured for the next little bit of the podcast, we'll kind of give you an intro to us, how we got started, maybe what equipment we use, equipment we started with, where we come from, all of that. So you want to start us out?
Yeah, sounds good. So we got started in our garage, if you can believe it or not, and we
are a pandemic business.
Pandemic business.
We started in the brink of the pandemic.
That's right. In our garage. Had no other choice. But yeah, so our first equipment purchase was off of Facebook Marketplace, and it was basically everything.
It wasn't.
What?
It was a Cricut.
Oh my goodness. Are we going to say that? No, if you... Wouldn't it be, a Cricut and a heat press? Because we got that cheap heat press off of eBay. eBay? Yeah,
so we started with a Cricut, and that was...
We got the Cricut Inspire 2.
We were so excited to go get that. We thought our lives were made.
Take over the world. So we got the Inspire 2, and we got a 5-in-1 heat press off of eBay for like $150. And we were off. That's what we started with, and quickly realized the limitations that come with something like that.
And the annoying things such as weeding.
Can't basically do multicolor designs without layering, and layering, so yeah, you don't want to deal with that. Plus, there's also the durability of vinyl. So, our taking over the world ambitions
got put on hold.
Yes, to say the least. So that led us down the rabbit hole of looking into alternative, like t-shirt printing methods, and that's when we came across screen printing. So we were looking for what seemed like ever, trying to find a decent screen printing press. Obviously, like, we couldn't afford a new one because the new ones from like Ryonet and Anatol started at like $7,500. Really going to be something that we could take on. So we just were pretty limited to the used market. So we were scouring Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, I think it's like DigiPress or whatever, trying to find anything that we could. And eventually, one morning, we were actually going to go to Alabama. Do you remember this?
Oh, yeah.
So there was
we
like
had already rented the U-Haul.
Yeah, we were set. And there was this like pretty decent press and dryer out in Alabama. And we were talking to the guy, got him down to a good price. And we were going to go pick it up that day. And then I logged on again to Facebook Marketplace, just take another quick look. And that day, someone had posted what seemed like a jackpot. So it was a 4-head, 4-station, a 7-foot conveyor dryer, a cabinet for holding screens, two cabinets for holding screens, a whole bunch of ink, a whole bunch of squeegees, a whole bunch of screens, basically everything you would need to get started actually like printing t-shirts. And the guy wanted like, I think $6,000 for it, and he had just posted this listing. So I messaged him, offered him like $3,500. And then I don't remember the details, but we met at $4,000. So
the listing came with like everything we needed to start.
Yeah.
Exposure unit, screens, so that we didn't have to buy anything. He had some inks he gave us, some of the chemicals, like everything you needed to set up for your first time screen printing. He gave to us. So it was really just like we hit the jackpot, and we didn't have to take that drive to Alabama.
Yeah, I didn't mention the best part. It was literally in Houston.
Yeah.
So like
45 minutes from us.
So rather than taking the U-Haul to Alabama, we just took it to the guy's storage unit in Houston, loaded it up, took like everything went super well.
I have pictures of us in a U-Haul. We were just so excited about it.
If we can grab those, we'll insert them. If you guys are watching the video podcast, I'll insert them now.
Super nice. He helped load it up. Because if you guys haven't seen a screen printing press, those things are heavy, and once they are put on a surface, they don't move from that surface. So even ours in the back, had it since 2020, it's still on a dolly.
Yeah, we just keep it on the dollies.
But yeah, so we started.
So that's where we started. Brought all of it into the garage. It was tight, to say the least, getting everything in there. But yeah, man, that's where we started. That's where we left the garage even. So we left the garage with that amount of equipment. And then when we came here, when we got this location, that's when we bought the DTF printer, our first DTF printer.
Yeah, so we started in the garage, and within 6 months we were out.
No, a little longer. Maybe like a year.
No. We moved into here in 2021. 2022?
2021.
No, 2022.
Oh,
so it'll be 2 years.
I can't even remember.
I can't either. It all merges into one. But yeah, we were getting a lot of jobs for garments from schools that were literally t-shirts were flooding the garage. We had actually started with half of the garage so that we could keep the other half still a garage. Quickly outgrew that, so we used the whole garage, and then I don't even think we used the whole garage we probably used it for 2 months, and then we were like, we have to get out. So we moved here, and then we learned about DTF. You can talk about how you picked the DTF, because I didn't help with any really of that research.
Yeah, DTF, I can't even remember where I first heard about it. But we had been taking orders for DTF transfers before we actually made the purchase ourselves. So that's something that I've talked about numerous times before on my YouTube channel. It's always a good idea to outsource your production first, get your customer base in line, get some repeatable business going through your pipeline, and then you can go ahead and make the jump to buying a DTF printer yourself. So that's exactly what we did. Got our DTF printer, and I ended up purchasing the Oddly 24-inch two-head DTF printer, and I did that one based on what seemed like a insane amount of research. So I listened to any podcast that I possibly could about DTF printers, DTF transfers, any kind of like Facebook thread on like the Facebook groups. I scoured all of it on t-shirt forums, and that was basically the thing that I came to. The four-head printers kind of seemed like they were a lemon, and they weren't really working out for the people that had gotten them in their hands. So for that, I was just not interested in getting a four-head, and that's why I was super committed to getting the two-head.
Yeah, I was quite a skeptic when Alex came to me and said, I want to buy this $10,000 machine for our business. Especially because I will be honest, I didn't do much research into it. All I knew was that there were things going viral on social media called full color transfers. What were people calling them?
Clear film
screen prints. And I was like, well,
which people still do.
Yeah, they still do. So I was like, well, I wonder what that is. Like, maybe we should lean towards that. And then come to find out they were actually DTF transfers.
I think if we actually look back a little bit, it still comes down to the problems that we were having with the Cricut, with the multicolor transfers. So the problems that we were really running into with the screen print transfers were we couldn't print more than 4 colors.
Yeah.
And we had a couple customers coming to us wanting more than 4 colors, especially a lot of customers coming to us with like low quantity, high color designs, which is like right where DTF transfers excel.
Yeah, because you can't have more than, I mean, you can, but it's just more of a hassle than what it's worth if you have a color design with 20 colors in it. It's just, you don't want to do that with a screen printing press. So.
I mean, yeah, like you said, you can definitely do it. It's just you're going to need 2,000 shirts to make it worth the while.
And when you're printing on transfer paper, it gets a little more complicated, I think, than garments to do full color. Because then if the transfer paper shifts, that gets thrown out. So quickly learned that DTF was probably the best idea. So kudos to you for doing all that research. All right, so then we got the first printer delivered in October of 2022.
End of October.
If you've watched any of Alex's vlogs, you've kind of seen how our office is laid out. So the office that we're in right now is where we put the printer, so we really didn't have an office space. It quickly got taken over by a DTF printer. And it took up 75% of the room. So people were squeezing in and out, and all of that.
Walking over cords.
Yeah, and we did that because people had said you wanted certain temperatures, and in our warehouse in the back, it's much more space. So when it gets cold, it gets super cold back there. When it gets hot, it gets hot. So this was much more temperature controlled. But then... So again, Alex comes to me maybe 4 or 5 months after our first printer and says, hey, I think we need printer number 2. So that was like, that's another 10,000 to just trust everything. And like, that's always scary when you're a business, like spending that much money, especially when you order it from the supplier. It takes a while to get there. Things can fall off cargo ships. Like, you just make sure that it gets there safely. So once the second printer got here, it got here in August 2023. So what was that? A little less than a year later. And then we moved both out into the warehouse because there was no way we could fit 2 in here. We bought the same printer we had last time, or we bought the first time, the Oddly. So setting it up was a dream. This first time wasn't a dream because we were kind of just noobs when it came to DTF.
Not to say that there wasn't our fair share of problems with the second one. We still made the same mistake with the stand. We put the printer on the wrong way and had to take it off of the stand and put it, like, flip it around. So
yeah, the first time we put it completely on wrong, and it was something that stuck with me because that thing is so heavy that when you lift it, and Alex was like, you can do it. So we're lifting it, get it on there. And I told him when we got the second printer, let's make sure we do it right this time so we don't have to relift it. And what happened? We put it on wrong. So at that point we were just like, it's routine at this point to put it on wrong. So we put that one together. That was super easy. Didn't have any issues with it. Now they're both in the back. Not really any issues with temperature control. We do have like capping solutions and stuff to keep the lines from getting clogged, but that just comes with learning your machine and all of that. So
the capping solution was a dream because before that it was not very easy. We were constantly worried about the humidity in the room.
When I tell you that machine, the first machine, was my arch nemesis, because every morning to come in and fight with it to unclog lines was not so. It just wasn't fun. It caused way more stress than needed when there was such a simple solution of capping solution.
Yeah, and that was just a failure on our part. We just needed to do the basic research.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys aren't using capping solution, get you some.
Capping solution. It will cause you so much less stress and less headaches.
For sure.
Oh, let's say when printers number 3 get in here.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe we won't move.
Yeah, I don't know if we would be able to fit it in this space. I think we could if we rearrange things, but we'll just wait. We're almost in the new space anyways.
Yeah, we're going to start looking. I mean, we've already started looking, but we would really like to get into the new space maybe about a month before our lease is up, just so that we can have a slow transition of moving everything over, not we have one day to pack everything and go. Because this is big equipment. We've acquired 2 whole DTF printers. We've acquired like 3 huge shelving units.
The auto.
We have the auto now. That's another. We haven't. We'll get to that next. But yeah, we've built cabinets. We've gotten racks. So it's just we would like to get everything slowly moved over, rather than, and like the U-Haul trip with the screen printing press that takes up one whole U-Haul. So
yeah, and it's also we want to try and do all of this while minimizing any disruption to our customers.
The DTF printers will probably be the last thing to get loaded up to go.
Yeah, I figure we'll probably do one weekend where we take all of the heavy equipment.
But that's another thing also with the new place, electricity. We have to make sure we have to stay here. Yes, so the day that electrical can get there, will be the day we'll take it over, because you have to have specific electricity.
Yeah, I mean, you honestly just kind of reminded me of that. I forgot a little bit about that, so we really gotta get going.
Yeah, because we don't want these unplugged for. I would prefer they not be unplugged for longer than like a couple hours. Unplug them, plug them in, get them running again, just to avoid any disruption.
Yeah, agreed.
But so after the second DTF printer.
Before.
Was it before?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess before the DTF printer, we acquired a automatic screen print transfer press, which was another thing that was amazing to the business.
I would argue it was one of the most amazing things that we have gotten in the business. Mm-hmm. The amount of time and pain and suffering that it avoids by not having to manually screen print transfers is, I would give my pinky for it. Like, that is...
It was a dream. And yeah, so that was a dream to have. It also helped because, so we had hired someone in the beginning of last year, but unfortunately it was all on the manual. So when you're printing hundreds and hundreds of sheets a day, it does take a toll. So once we got the automatic, we were also able to hire more people with not as much experience. It's really easy. For example, we hired an 18-year-old, my brother. He had no experience with screen printing. He didn't even know what screen printing was. He was printing transfers for his first week of being here.
His second day.
Yeah, his second day he was doing it. But his first week he was able to change the whole machine by himself and everything like that. So that really opened the door for we can bring more help in. and it also takes off the load of our employees. So that was a dream. Of course, we can't do clothing on it, so our clothing orders are still done with the manual. But when the majority of our business is transfers, that's nice to have.
And this is all available on my YouTube channel if you guys are looking to get a deeper dive into exactly what we were talking about. There was actually a whole lot that we're going to go ahead and just leave out of this podcast for my own emotional well-being that went wrong with that flatbed auto.
Yeah, that's a video that you're going to want to see. And that it was the whole first week was terrible.
Some things went wrong. We'll just leave it at that. And so
all good now, though. We don't have any regrets about it now. We should add that. If you're thinking about getting one, getting one.
Agreed. Maybe just not off of eBay.
Yeah.
So yeah, all of these videos are available on the YouTube channel from anything from 2023. I was vlogging all of it, so if you guys are interested in seeing us get the second DTF printer, us get that flatbed auto nightmare, go check out those YouTube videos. But that's the equipment that we use, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like our introduction story, our character arc.
We have our little bits of equipment, like our heat presses, stuff like that, but those are the big boys in the shop.
Those are what pay the bills.
Yep.
So yeah, I think hopefully you guys have a little bit of an understanding where we came from, how we got to where we are. Should we move into the next section?
Yeah. So I took a little bit of I did a little bit of a deep dive into our social media accounts, both on WW as well as AMS, and picked out some questions that you guys had asked us about our business, some things that you guys were interested in. So I thought we would kind of answer some of those.
Let's do it.
All right. The first one, I don't have any names, so if you asked this, thank you again for asking. The first one did come from your YouTube channel. Someone had asked, do we order our DTF film from China or do we get it locally? And how do we plan ahead to ensure that we do not run out?
Do you want to take this one?
Yeah, so we do order our DTF film, ink, all of our supplies from China. It does take a couple months to get here, which again, these are all videos that you can see on Alex's YouTube channel. He films when we get shipments in, but we basically kind of calculate how much we use daily, weekly, and then we make one big purchase and we're set for hopefully a couple months. We just did a huge purchase at the end of last year, 2023, so we are stocked up for now. But it does, there's always the times, like we did have a viral video on TikTok go viral back in August. So we did go through supplies very, very fast then. So in that case, we did have to buy ink and film just to get us through until we got our big shipment. We bought that in the States. It got here in a couple days. But we definitely try to plan accordingly. Like we'll do some inventory probably when we move out, see where we're at, and then we'll just place another big order. It'll get here. But it's always hard to figure out exactly when you'll run out, so we just kind of play it by ear.
Because some of the things are like variable. For example, if a customer places a 13 by 22 inch giant rectangle, obviously that's going to use more ink, that's going to use more powder. The film is pretty static, so we can really judge how much film we're going to use in a given period pretty easily. But the ink and powder, like those, how do we know how, say it's a giant blue circle, so we use a whole bunch of cyan, but the yellow is still completely filled up. So just things like that, the ink, powder are a little harder to judge. Yeah,
like today, I think we had a 22 by 60 gang sheet, and all it was just big blocks of ink. So in that situation, especially running 2 printers now, you just go through ink a lot faster. So, but we do buy it from China. Saves us some good money. We haven't had any issues with anything yet. We've gotten everything in a pretty reasonable time frame based on what we expected. Yeah.
Agreed.
All right. Question number 2 also comes from YouTube. It says, what do you do with your printers during the weekends? Do we lose our Saturday and Sundays by having to come into the office to run the machine to keep from drying out in the print head?
Yes, so we kind of alluded to this a little bit earlier in the episode, but this used to be one of like our main problems and challenges running the DTF printer, and the capping solution. It saved our bacon. It is the best thing ever.
Yeah, it is.
Like, if you are struggling with nozzle clogs, get capping solution. You won't have any more problems. It is, I don't know, we get ours from DTG Pro if you guys are interested. I don't usually like dropping like suppliers' names, but man, this stuff is good, so I don't mind giving them a little bit of a shout out. I mean, DTG Pro, if you're watching, maybe give us a little bit of a sponsor.
I mean, that one capping solution, it took us from we did used to come in on Saturdays just to prevent that from happening, to now we can go on vacation sometimes for like 4 or 5 days at a time and come back and our printers are not completely ruined.
Run 2 cleanings and we're back to normal.
Yeah, that has helped tremendously, because it was something that we stressed about quite often. And right now we currently do live a bit away from home, so no one wants to drive into work on a Saturday morning, but you did what you had to do. That's what really drives you. When you don't want to do something, you find a solution for it. So didn't want to drive it on Saturday, found a capping solution.
Thank goodness.
All right. The next question actually came from WW Transfers TikTok, and it said, if you don't mind me asking, where did you get your heat press? Where did you get your heat press, and what model is it?
So we actually, this is kind of like, I feel bad telling you guys this because we bought it from a local place, Aviva Wholesale, and I think they are actually nationwide, but I think it's kind of like a franchise thing where it's like franchise owners, not like a corporate store. So I think each of the franchise owners have a little bit of autonomy with the products that they actually store or stock in their store. And all of this to say, I've only seen the heat press that we've bought there 2 times, and one of the times we ended up buying it. So the heat press that we bought there, they haven't had consistently in stock, but we did get it from Aviva Wholesale if you guys are interested. It's a 16x20 auto open clamshell heat press with a pull-out drawer, and we got it for like $400. It was a super good deal. I wish I could tell you guys that like this is the URL to go buy it from, but it's just not, unfortunately, the way it worked.
I mean, yeah, we did start. We can tell you what we started with. We started with one off of eBay. We got one off of Amazon after that one. We had that one for quite a few years. So you can find one. It really depends. We like the auto open and the slide out. The ones that we had before didn't have the slide out, and it wasn't as big. No. So, but if you're just starting out, Amazon and eBay are great places to look for starter heat presses. But yes, we love our heat press.
I just wish you guys could get it.
Yeah, I mean, do you have any videos on it? I mean, you could probably look online.
So yeah, I was going to mention that if you guys are interested, so this is basically like a clone of other heat presses out there, and if you guys were interested, you can purchase them directly from Alibaba. It's going to take like 2 months to get here from China, but you'll actually get a better deal. So you could probably get the same heat press for probably like $250, $300, including shipping. But it's just going to take 2 months, and you probably won't have a way of returning it if you ever wanted to. So yeah, just search on Alibaba.
We are proud supporters of buying things straight from suppliers.
Why not, man?
And then the last question is, this also came from TikTok, can these be used with a easy press?
So I'm going to let you take the charge on this one.
So if you guys don't know what an easy press is, it is Cricut's version of a heat press. You can find some videos online, but basically what it is, it's just a handheld heat press. You rely solely on your body weight to apply the heat. I actually got this question so much on WW Transfers that I did a test run for it. So we did go out and buy an Easy Press, and then applied it with the Easy Press, the transfers. We don't recommend it. It's not... it transferred while it might not stick as long as if you use a normal heat press. So I just don't recommend if you're looking for like a shirt that you want to keep for the next years, couple months, whatever. I think I washed it multiple times, and I think that after like the 4th or 5th wash, it was starting to fade. So you don't want that with an Easy Press. Like I said, it solely relies on the pressure from your body weight. So you can't, as in a with a heat press, you can set the pressure very high. Like there's times that we've had to use such strong pressure that I can't even push it down. With that, you can't get that with an Easy Press, so it won't stick. But I mean, some people say you can, some people say you can't. We just recommend you don't. So.
And it's not only that; it's also evenness of the pressure.
Yeah, that's
so. With a normal clamshell heat press, you can get very even pressure throughout the middle and even the corners, the sides. However, with the Easy Press, is your pressure going to be consistent for the whole 15 seconds? Is it going to be completely even? I don't know. Easy presses aren't the cheapest thing, so it's just
that's what I was just thinking. Like we paid I think $150 when we were testing it out, and like Alex just said, go get a nice heat press off of Alibaba for $300. And you'll get, because I remember when I do have a video on my TikTok about it, if you guys want to see me actually apply it. The design I had was a straight square, and I had to heat it almost in 4 different sections to ensure that it would be heated correctly. So it's just more hassle than what it's worth.
And it's not even just the 300 ones off of Alibaba. If you're just getting started, like, you could get the $150 one off of Amazon.
Yeah.
Or there's lots of decent options. You don't have to get an Easy Press. I know it's trendy to get an Easy Press, but...
They do look sleek, but it's just not. We sound like we're Cricut haters. We're not. We've tried them all, but...
This is from experience.
Yes.
We're speaking from experience here. Like, if you guys are serious about what you're trying to do here in the t-shirt industry, like, I don't know, Cricut's not going to work for you.
It's not. But everything has its own place. We still have our Cricut. Can't get rid of her. But do you have any last minute comments or
No,
questions?
I think I don't know, guys. What'd you think of our first show? Let us know in the comments. If you guys are listening, like where you listen to podcasts, I don't know, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, whatever it is, Spotify. Make sure you guys leave us a review. If you are listening on Apple, please leave us a review. It really would mean a lot to us. Just like I said, trying to get this podcast going, and all of the reviews really do help. So if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please feel free to leave us a review. If you're watching the video podcast, leave a comment, give the video a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel.
We're also going to be doing the Q&A at the end of every podcast. So if you guys have any questions, you can always leave them. I just basically go through, you can leave them on his YouTube comments, you can leave them on our social medias, whether that's Instagram, TikTok, everything will be linked below. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, we can always put them try to answer them at the end of each week.
Where can they find us?
So WW Transfers is going to be on TikTok, so it's just at WW Transfers. Also on TikTok, it's at Choose AMS, so CHOOSE AMS. That's our TikToks. Our Instagrams are, mine is WW Transfers Official. Yours is AMS Manufacturing, or I also think it is Choose AMS if you do like at. But you'll see it there. And then that's basically the biggest social media platforms we're on there. We do have a screen printing group on Facebook. If that is something that you're interested in joining, you can maybe connect with other screen printers, ask questions if we don't get that to them that week. But yeah, we're all over social media. Our YouTube comments are a big thing. Alex is very big on YouTube, uploads quite a few times a week. I'm trying to get there, but you can leave comments there as well.
Exactly. Well, I feel good about this podcast. I thought it went pretty well.
I'm just sick, though.
Yeah, if you guys think
I won't sound like this always, I promise. I just am sick right now.
Leave some comments telling Michaela that she sounds fine. She was very worried about doing this since she is a little congested. But
all right, this was good.
Yeah, I agree. Make sure you guys stay tuned for next week. Next week we're going to be doing, the podcast is going to be kind of this format. So we're going to do like what we did in the week, and kind of start out the episode with that. It's going to be like you're kind of hanging out with us at the end of the week. So we'll do what we did in the week. We'll kind of do a main topic. So I don't know, you'll have to see what that's going to look like. This main topic was like kind of getting to know us, our introduction, where we came from, equipment, stuff like that. And then we're always going to do a little bit of industry news. So we didn't do it this particular episode since it was the introduction, but the next episode you can count on just a little bit of industry news, kind of what's new, what's happening, what's going on. And I think we'll finally end up wrapping it up with the Q&A.
Yeah, and if you guys have any topics you want us to discuss as like the whole of the episode, let us know, and we can definitely talk about it, spend some time going in depth rather than just quick Q&A answers. Maybe we'll add some rapid fires in there soon.
That sounds good to me.
So if you guys have any rapid fire questions. But yeah, thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys, and I think with that we'll sign off.
Hopefully next week we'll have a name.
That's where we'll leave it.